Perfect. What is happening? 403 to the HAZ. Mr. Nelson here. Pre-Cal 10. Welcome back. We are starting a new unit today, and this is the unit. This unit sets the foundation for, a lot of math and a lot of engineering, and it gets into science, physics, because functions and relations are essentially the beginning steps of when we start dealing and representing data in tables, in graphs, and that's just such an important part of the scientific mathematical world is representing data in a way that's easy to interpret and easy to follow. So, what is a relation? So a function is actually a subset of a relation. So a relation is basically any situation where we are representing elements. So we have and I think of it as input, output. Okay, if I had a relationship. So a relation's a relationship. So if I had a relationship where column 1 is a number, column 2 is that number doubled. That's a relation. And the input would be the number input, and the output would be doubling that number. It's just how we represent them. So there's a few different ways that we can represent a relationship, okay? The first that we talk about is an arrow diagram, okay? So let's imagine that I had some fruits, and so I have apple, orange, banana, and give me another fruit, pear, okay. Okay, and so that's my first column. Second data set is going to be the color, okay? So I got green, red, orange, yellow, and we'll say purple. Okay, and then I wanted to represent all the different colors that fruits could be. So this is how I would do an arrow diagram. Okay, apple can be green, or it can be red. An orange is orange. A banana is yellow, and a pear is green, we'll say, okay? Here is an arrow diagram representing the relationship. And you can see, okay, apple is green or red. Banana is yellow. That's an arrow diagram. I could represent this data in another way. Okay, so this is, let's put it up here. Arrow diagram. Okay. Here we have table. Okay, here's another way of representing, and we're going to really just learn 3. Arrow diagram, table, and pairs, data pairs. Okay, so in the table I would have the fruit, that's my title. Every table should have a title, so this is fruits and colors. Okay, every table should have a title without fail. Okay, and my second column is going to be color. Whoops. So in this method, each row is going to have each input's going to have all the outputs right beside it. So for apple, I would have red and green. Okay. For orange, I would have orange. For banana, I would have yellow. And pear, I Okay, and then, you know, there's my table, and now I can see, okay, I basically just read across. Apple is red or green, orange is orange, okay? Great. And then finally we have ordered pairs. Ordered pairs. Now ordered pairs is not a very good way of representing data where it's like, it's letters, or it's text, right? The ordered pairs works much better when we're actually just dealing with input number, output number, right? Where our output has a certain, you know, it's double plus 5 of each input. That's where ordered pairs works really great. It's not the best for this, but this is what it would look like, okay? Ordered pairs, I just want to get the right syntax here. Okay, so ordered pairs would be like this. We're gonna open our thing, and we're gonna have, okay, first pair is apple. Apple is, so apple, so the first thing in the bracket before the comma is our input, okay? The second is our output. So apple is red, okay? And so another ordered pair is apple is green. And I'm just gonna keep doing all of them, and I'm going to do the third one. Orange is orange. Banana is yellow. And pear is green, okay? And I'm going to close that up. So here, I could take ordered pairs and create a table out of it, because I'm just going to figure out all my inputs. What are all of my inputs? And then I'm going to stack them with their outputs. So these are all the same data set, represented 3 different ways, with arrow diagram, table, ordered pairs. And this is kind of what where we're going to start from. What is a function as it relates to a relation? Well, here we see, okay, this is it. This is the sauce. This is the magic sauce. A relation, you can have 2 different outputs for the same input. So you see here, apple could be green or it could be red. 2 different outputs, or 2 or more outputs for 1 input. If you have that situation at all, if any of your inputs have more than 1 output, it's a relation. A function will only have 1 specific output for each specific input. So to make this a function, I would have to get rid of the situations where I have any inputs that have more than 1 output. So in this case, I would to make this a function, and obviously I would never manipulate data, that's unscientific, but just to represent this. In this case now, this is a function because I only have 1 specific output for each input, okay? So to turn this table into a function, I'd have to be in a situation where there's only 1 specific output. Now, it's not to say that I can have the same output for 2 different inputs. That's okay. So I can have orange is red here, and this would still be a function. I am just concerned with the situation where I have more than 1 output for 1 input. Okay? I can have more than 1 input for the same output, right? I can get the same output from different inputs, but I can't have the same input having more than 1 output. I don't know how many different ways I can say that, but that's it. So let's write it right here. Relation. Relation can have more than 1 output for same input. Input is what we put in. Output's what we get out. If this was science, our input would be our independent variable. The thing that we're trying to see, it has an effect on our output. So our output would be our dependent variable. Our output depends on what we input, okay? Just like here, our output depends on what we input as the fruit. So input. And for functions, which I'm going to put in green because I like color coordinating. Green, green, green. Green. Functions only one output for each input. Okay? So, that is enough to kind of get you going, I believe, with the first set of practice problems, which I assure you are not going to mess you up. But if it's going to ask you, okay, is this a relation or is this a function? Well, you know it's going to be a relation if you have more than one output for the same input. That's it. That's it, guys. You know what? I'm done. I'm done. You can go with that. In the next video, we're going to talk about graphing functions and relations and how graphs can tell us if something is a function or relation using the same logic here. Okay?